In part 4 of this series, we will see how to optimize use of the application with DB2 by using static SQL. We will start by gathering performance metrics when executing our statements dynamically. Then we will capture those statements and replace literals with parameters so that we could run them using static SQL. We will create database packages and gather performance metrics when executing the statements, but this time using static SQL, and compare the performance versus dynamic SQL. To gather the performance of each SQL execution within our application, execute your code under the Pure Query configuration by selecting Run as Run Configuration. Select Pure Query. Under the Arguments tab, enter your database alias, server location, port number, username and password, and click Run. Right-click on your project and select Pure Query showing SQL outline. On the SQL outline, select to view the performance data. Expand your project until you see the SQL statements. On the SQL outline, we can view the number of times run, total time, maximum time, and so on for each SQL executed. You can save this performance information for each execution and compare performance results between executions of your application. Save this information by clicking on this Save button and enter DB2 Dynamic. Click OK. We have saved this information so that we can compare the performance between our dynamic execution and the static execution with literal replacement. Previously, SQL statements that use literals could not benefit from static SQL execution because the capture process treated each SQL statement as different. Now you can choose to replace such SQL statements with parameterized ones so that they can be treated as static SQL. To do this, right-click on the project and select Properties. Under the Pure Query category, enable SQL capturing and binding for JDBC applications and click OK. Open the PDQ properties file. At the end, type pdq dot and Content Assist will show you a list of available properties. Choose the SQL literal substitution and set it equal to enable. Save your file and close it. Execute again your application. Right-click and select Run Configuration. Select Java Application. And under the Arguments tab, again, enter your database alias, server location, port number, username and password, and click Run. Right-click on your project, select Pure Query, Show SQL Outline, hide the performance data for now, and go to the Database tab. Expand the GoSales schema. You will notice that the literal values on your insert statement were now replaced by parameters on the capture process. Next, we will bind the SQL statements into a DB2 package and execute the application using static SQL. New in this release is the ability to bind a single package from a capture file from the SQL outline. You can choose to run the process in the background to avoid disrupting other work you may be doing. Before we bind, we must set the GoSalesCT schema as a qualifier. Expand your Pure Query folder and open the gemprops file. Right-click on the file and select Pure Query, Add Remove Entries. Select the capture file, click Add and click OK. At the end of the entry, press Ctrl Space to see the Content Assist and select Bind Options. Again, press Ctrl Space, enter a quotation, scroll down and select Qualifier. Press the space bar and enter GoSalesCT. Save your file and close it. Go to the SQL outline and right-click on the package, select Bind. Choose your DB2 connection and click Finish. Now that we have captured our SQL and created a DB2 package, Let's run the application in static mode. Open your PDQ properties file. On capture mode, switch it to off, and the execution mode, change it to static. Save your file and close it. Run your application as pure query to gather new performance metrics while running your application statically. Click Run. Right-click on your project and select Pure Query, Show SQL Outline. Choose to view the performance metrics. Compare this new performance information with the one we previously saved when running our application in dynamic mode. Choose Compare. Expand your project. The left column shows the performance information when we run our application statically. The right column shows when we run it dynamically. We see that the select statements as well as the inserts were executed faster than before. In the previous section, we tuned the query and improved its predicted cost. In this section, we turned SQL statements using literals into parameterized SQL so that it could be executed using static execution mode. Then, we confirmed that the execution time performance improved by performing this step.